my YT family, welcome back to my channel, and I am coming to you from my truck direct. Just giving you guys an update on what's going on with me in trucking. I know a lot of you had followed my story from when I first got into trucking and was trying to get into trucking school, and some of the little tragic incidents that happened. But of course, it's been close to a year now, and I've overcome that. And I have since graduated, been driving, I've done team, and I am solo, and I wish to remain solo. So, but what's going on right now is I am not 100% happy in what I'm getting in trucking and what I want out of trucking. And I'm talking about things that make your job comfortable. So right now you are witnessing me traveling back to the terminal to return this truck. I actually asked for a new one and was told I'll be put on the list to pick up a new one here soon, which my truck was coming up to 500,000 miles, so that would have happened. But this truck I'm not crazy about. One, it has these super single tires. The traction is terrible when it's raining. It has the bedding is directly behind the driver's seat, so that I do not like. You barely have room to get dressed. The truck did not come with curtains except for directly by the bed, so therefore you can't utilize the front of the cab to get dressed. If you have an emergency and need to go to the bathroom before getting to a truck stop, that's a problem because you have no privacy up front in the cab. All these things are very important when you're choosing a company to be with. Remember, this is basically your second home, so it is very important that you are in something that's very tolerable. I'm not saying it needs to be perfect. It's not home. For some truckers, it is home. They've opted to save money and live in it. That's not my situation, but I'm in this truck enough for me to need certain levels of comfort. This truck does not have inverters. That's very important. You want to deal with a company that have inverters, or they're going to expect for you to pay for it, which means you can't plug in anything that requires like 120 volts or a 110, whatever it is. Anything that you need to plug in, like your phone, if it's not a cigarette lighter, you're not going to be able to use it. It's going to be 12 volt only in the truck, and that's very inconvenient. I'm a coffee drinker. I don't want to pay for coffee every time I go to the truck stop or every time I desire coffee. I don't want to have to, buy $2, and most of the time it's nasty anyway. So I have a single serve for my truck, and I was able to use that with my first company. Oh, wow. I think I just saw two of my friends. They are husband-wife team. Wow, I wish I could catch up with them. But of course, my truck does 67, so I can't, and they're owner ops. But anyhow, back to this now. So these are things that are very important when you're choosing your companies. And because I don't want to have multiple companies um, under my belt within a year, I have opted to resign from this company. And one of two things. One thing is I miss real estate, and I am not able to do it full-fledged the way I used to. And so I needed weekends off, so it opted for me to go with the company that I'm with now because I get weekends off. Most of the time it's just a 34-hour reset. But I really want, real estate is booming in Atlanta. Real estate is booming basically everywhere. And I really want to partake in that and don't want to lose my, my ground there. So I'm opting to either find out if I want to go full-fledged back into it, but I love trucking and I do miss it when I'm not in it. I haven't been in a truck going towards a week now, and I miss it. Like I said, I'm back in here now because um, I am about to return it. I'm sorry, I'm getting, oh wow, they're telling me that they're barbecuing at the terminal. Anyhow, so yeah, so I miss trucking, and I got into it because I love it. It's in my family. My brothers, they have their own authority, and my dad's been in for just years and years and years. My uncle has owned, his own company way before I was born, and so I love it. I have diesel in my blood, and I know that I'm a girly girl, and people don't expect that of me. And I get the oohs and the ahs when I get out, especially with these nails, and still looking as feminine as I do. And I'm unapologetic for that. But I say that to say this. I'm not looking to get out of trucking. I just want to make sound decisions. And sometimes, in order to do that, you need to step back and give yourself a moment. Take a week or more if need be to check out companies and basically go down with a checklist and see if they have at least 80 to 90% of what you're looking for. Nothing's going to be perfect, and I don't expect it to be, but there are some things that you want to be mindful of, especially the more experience you get and the cleaner your record is and you have no accidents and tickets and stuff like myself. Mine just fell off here in April. Thank God, it was a game changer. Qualifying wise, offer wise, you don't have you're not getting declined or turned down for safety issues because of something that was on your personal license. So those are things that I'm considering. The inverter, the equipment. You want great equipment because if you have faulty equipment or older equipment, and believe it or not, these older trailers trying to slide the tandems, they slow down your progress and when you can deliver. And if you end up sometimes having to be on the side of the road because of just maintenance issues, and you only, you're not earning if these wheels are turning. Bottom line, I don't care unless it is a fault of, well, like the truck breaks down for a certain amount of time, and sometimes they want you to wait 24 hours before they're going to give you, overnight pay, and that all that still none of that crap and all that detention pay equals up to if you were just rolling and making your load. So it's not even worth it. So those are things that I'm currently considering. I am looking for suggestions for companies for someone who's just at. I won't be at my year mark until June, so technically I'm still under a year, and it does matter when you're speaking to people. Some have said if they require 12 months, hey, give us a call back in a month. I mean, me personally, please, I don't think a month is going to make a difference. But you either have it or you don't. But I've been a safe driver thus far, no incidents. So I am going to take my time and I'm going to look. I don't want to be dealing with a million recruiters. I don't. But some of the things that I require, I'm just going to go through with my checklist and call these companies myself. Um, but if there's someone that say, hey, no, you've got to check this company out. They're great. You have no record. You have, a safety, a good safety track record, and you're at your basically 1 year mark. Check them out. I think you'll like them. I am concerned with home time. I do not want a company that requires me to be gone 3, 4, 5 weeks. There are drivers out there for that. Respect what I want and need, and I respect that, what you need, you would need to select the proper driver for that. But if I'm saying this is not what I want, I don't want to be gone 3, 4 weeks, I don't even want to apply to a company like that. So what I'm doing is asking before I even do the application, because they're very quick to tell you, well, go ahead and do the application. Well, there's really no need to do applications if you all are not going to be a fit. If it's not going to be a marriage, then hey, let's stop here. Thank you for taking the time to answer my questions. And now you can move on to the next person that may be of interest and of a good fit. And I can move on and try to find what I need that works for me. Because what happens, you go on board just to get on board, just to get, the check rolling. And then it's not going to be a meeting of the minds. You're going to end up quitting, or they're going to end up firing you because you're not adhering to what they expect of you. And I love a company that respects that you are human and you have family and you have a life way before you decide to get into that truck. And I think that there is definitely a happy medium. Um, you can, understand that they need loads moved. Okay, and as well as they need to understand that you don't want to just subject yourself to that truck 24 hours 365. It's just not. And find the drivers that do. There are some drivers that love that. They don't think you're making money or can be successful if you're not gone 2 and 3 months. Okay, I understand that, but you also, like I said, have to understand those that care about um, putting time in with loved ones that they cannot get back, okay, and missing important events like graduations and things of that nature, that I don't care how much money you made, you can't get that memory back, you can't get that feeling back of being in attendance to things of that nature. And there's certain things I'm just not going to sacrifice, and especially when you don't have to. There's trucking companies to fit so many of our needs, driver needs out here. So um, that's what's up with me, guys. So I am taking a break. So if you see me doing videos, I am going to start a separate channel just for trucking, because simply because you have people that just love trucking, and I do a lot of purse videos. I do a lot of things about my personal life, such as the bags that I purchase, and me going shopping and vacations and things like that. But we are in a trucking world. It's an industry. It's a world. Um, on YouTube, it's a world, it's a community. So I'm going to just probably establish that. I will announce it on the Jersey Girl for Life channel, and that way you guys can follow me over there, for those who are strictly here for trucking, as well as those who just support me all the way around in my YouTube world. Okay, so I will probably get that done this weekend. Um, or I will definitely establish it by the time I select the company. I have been accepted by one company, but the more they're in contact with me and the questions are arising, it's making me fall back a little bit and say, wait a minute, because I don't want to come on board and leave, and there are some key factors starting to be missing there, and I guess there was a miscommunication in the conversation, but I'm not saying 100% no, but I love the fact they're based here in Georgia, so that I have somewhere to park. That's another thing. The company that I am leaving, I was paying $100 a month to park near my home, because there's no truck stop that's convenient that I can always guarantee that I'll be able to get a park when I come through there, because the truck stops now, with the new rules and regulations with this the ELDs and stuff, the truck stops are a club truck stop now. It is a club. People are parking illegally. People are pulling up. Oh, let me tell you some crazy things I've seen. People pull up to the gas pump. They'll usually try to select the one farthest away from the door. They have two cones. They'll put a cone in the front, cone in the back, signaling there's an issue with this pump, and that's why I'm parked here. Go to sleep, do their 10 hours, get out, pick up the cones, and go on about their business. Okay, it's that serious out here with the parking. So I just don't feel as though that's an expense that I should take on. It's not my truck. I'm not an owner operator. If you don't have enough drop yards or places for me to park, then that's something else for me to consider, because that's $1,200 a year. I don't care how you slice it, and you're not giving me enough miles to cover that, in my opinion. So I'm not difficult, easy to get along with. I understand the business and what's required, but I also understand that there are companies that can meet you more than halfway, or at least halfway, and what you need and want, to make you comfortable, to make you want to stay out here, to make you want to say, hey, I can't wait to get in my truck and get this done, and make it work for both sides. So that's where I am. If you guys don't see any trucking videos for about a week or so, it's because I'm transitioning, and I'm trying to pick the best solution for myself. And I will definitely, like I said, do a video of that and do a truck tour. If you were to look, I've taken all the decoration out of my truck. I had a pink steering wheel, see that it's gone, and pink rugs and all that stuff. All that stuff, took it all out because I'm about to drop this puppy off, and the company is being very decent about it. They are giving me a rental car to return home. So I'm very ecstatic about that, because one of the reasons I was trying to drop it off locally is I don't want to take a bus all the way from Knoxville. I got things to do and work on. I got to use this week to my advantage, and whether that's putting my real estate business back where I need it to be, so that I can do both efficiently, as well as checking out some companies so I can come on board. Most orientations these days are so quick. Like this company that I am accepted at, if I go there, it's one day. I get I get there that day, I get the truck that day, I'm on the road, gone. Okay. So things are really turning around, things are changing, and I am going to do a more detailed video about the journey and things that I've encountered and what I've learned, and some of the things that I would love female truckers to be aware of. In particular, if there's some things you want me to cover in that video, please go ahead, comment down below. Whatever you do, definitely subscribe. I definitely need your support on here. I'm going to be doing a live video once I do hit 1,000 subscribers, and that video will contain things about trucking as well as my just regular everyday life. But if there's something you guys want me to cover in particular, please list it below. I have gained a ton of experience. I tell you, um, right about getting up to a year of trucking, you feel as though you've done this for like 20, 30 years. The things that you encounter, okay, especially if you are cross country. If you go cross country, and I'm not, this regional stuff that I've been doing this last 2 months, just southeast, you still encounter a lot. Don't get that misconstrued, because there's still mountains in Tennessee, still mountains in Alabama that would surprise the heck out of you. You will be like, oh my God, I might as well be in Virginia. But overall, what I'm saying is the experience you get, I see why sometimes people become, I'm coming through a scale, guys, so they're probably going to flag me through because I'm bobtailing, which means I don't have a trailer. Yeah, they just told me to go by. But yeah, you would be surprised at the stuff that you encounter in that short space of time. Even at 3 months, you feel so experienced. I have, if you name it, it's probably happened to me. I've had to weather some real storms. I had situations that I wonder, how am I going to get out of this? Especially the first one I can remember is when I stopped teaming, well, I didn't stop teaming. I had took my teammate home for that day. Okay, I'm about to get ran over by a tanker. These owner ops, I tell you, they killed me with their non-governed trucks, but whatever. That's a whole nother video. But yeah, how do you too? Whatever. So yeah, um, they kill me. They like almost run you over and all that. Then when they get up here and realize like you're a little cutie, they want to flirt, slow down. No, you had somewhere to go, so carry on. You know. But but guys, anyway, let me tell you, there's so much to cover and so many videos, and that's why I want to dedicate a channel strictly for like just my trucking videos, because I have to spit these out. I still owe you guys and some of my followers, I've told you by email or what have you, I am going to live up to that. It just takes time to edit all that stuff. I have videos in my iPad, videos in 3 cell phones from me starting trucking school till now. I don't even have the same exact phones as when I was starting out. So all that stuff, I have to gather all that information and get it in chronological order as when it happened, and even my teaming situation. When I tell you that could take me another year to get that together, but I'm going to start at least with the beginning and let you guys see some of that, so that if you're contemplating on going into trucking, if you're in trucking and you're thinking about getting it out, especially if you're female and some of the things that you're facing, I would love to chit chat with you about it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm supposed to be known as one of the most girliest girls there is, and no one saw me doing that. And with those nails, I know you're gonna cut those nails. No, I'm not cutting those nails, and I rarely break a nail. If I break a nail, most of the time it's not on the truck. It's me not paying attention at home or doing something crazy. Or the only time I've broken them while I was out here is I've stayed out way too long, and my fill has gotten way past the time that you need to fill. I'm out here a month and a half, then it's easier to break them, especially if you're not paying attention. But I'll do videos showing you guys how I pull my fifth wheel, how I do everything. I hook up my airlines, everything with my nails, and lickety split, I'm gone. Not a big deal. So if you want to know, that's something I didn't see when I was trying to get into trucking. And one young lady answered, I want to say, I don't know, chasing the greens or whatever. It's the greens I want. They're a young couple that was husband and wife team, and then they had a baby, and so they stopped trucking. But she answered my question, and she said, "No, I don't have a problem with nails, but her nails were nowhere as long as mine. But she had nails, so she did answer my question. I don't see why you couldn't do everything." And she was right. I'm able to do everything. Just as well as probably I wouldn't do it as well without nails because I'm just used to my extra help here. So if you have a question of do I need to cut my nails, if it's going to make you feel better to get through trucking school, fine, so be it. Trucking school, they didn't even have me. I think I unhooked and hooked up to the airlines maybe twice towards the end. That they're more so concerned with you driving this truck, and shifting does not require your hand. You're using your hand to shift. So I hope I've answered that question if someone's concerned, because I wasn't sure either, and I went to trucking school with nails, and when I showed up, a lot of people knew who I was from YouTube because of my nails. So they were like, I know it was you and I saw your nails. But anyway, guys, I have been on here 20 minutes. I'm headed to Knoxville to get rid of this puppy. It has been a great journey, definitely a great teacher. And it's opened my eyes to some things. And I would recommend you do the same thing. Before you get 5 to 6 companies under your belt within a year, doesn't look good, doesn't look stable, just pause, stand still, take time, and maybe check out some companies and make sure that they meet your bucket list, if you will, so that you can make a more informed decision and be happy where you're going and get some longevity in at a company. But don't ever feel bad if you need to leave, because we get one shot at this thing called life. So you make that decision on what you're going to do with it. Love it, mean it. Love you guys, mean it. And I will see you guys in my next video. And of course, definitely try to be better to yourself today than you were yesterday. Bye.